Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about one of those weird concepts again. So, whenever you see someone play a deck that you haven't seen before, I think it's pretty cool actually that you can learn how to play someone else's deck just by seeing them play it, right? That makes sense? So, for like Therion Punk here, like for example, this, you can completely learn how I play this deck after just a few games, right? So the only issue with this, of course, is it's kind of hard to find like some niche decks, right? But just for example, after I've played against branded a good amount, I can tell you exactly how to do any branded combo because it's pretty easy. So there are like uh, two, three different lines you can do in branded, and they're all pretty simple. So first we have just essentially search branded fusion, and then you summon Albion, sending Bistral Lubellion, and Fallen of Elbaz. Then you banish a dude. You don't really want to banish Bistral Lubellion, but yeah. So from here you either make uh, Lubellion, um, but like the other Lubellion, right? If that makes sense. So doesn't show up here. So let's search Fallen of Elbaz instead. So you can summon Lubellion the Searing Dragon then to make Mirjade, or you can just make Mirjade with Albion, but it's better to do it with Lubellion so you can send Albion into the graveyard with Lubellion's effect, and then you can activate a branded spell trap. So you can activate Regained, you can activate the the uh what's it called? I don't remember. So the continuous trap or like branded lost, I guess, whatever they were called. I think it was branded beast actually. And then from there you just search some branded spell trap. Like you could search branded retribution technically. You can search branded in red. You have options. So yeah, that's about it. And the foolish burial way to get to this kind of like is to just get Albion and Serenir into the graveyard essentially, and you can do this with Grand Guignol. So you can special summon Grand Guignol. You can also normal summon Guiding Quem, the Virtuous, and then you have branded retribution effect to add branded fusion uh, to your hand, right? And then you just activate branded fusion and same line again, same as before, essentially, right? And then there's like one more line that utilizes the end phase. So you just do it all in the end phase where you just activate branded in red to add back Fallen of Elbaz from your graveyard to your hand, I believe, and then you can use that to make like Albion, Lubellion, whatever. And you also use like Blazing Cartesia add back to hand effect from the graveyard. So I believe you usually do this line with High Spirits. So it's something like that. And you do this all in the end phase. And I think you might also like potentially do Mirror Jade effect to send Titaniclad, the Ash Dragon. And then you can use this to summon Guiding Quem. So it's just stuff like that. And essentially, this combo, from what I remember, is super annoying because it ends up looping Mirror Jade like 2-3 times or something like that. So yeah, I don't remember the exact details though. So you send one level 8 fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. then you add a Fallen of Elbaz, straight up a Fallen of Elbaz, because you need that Fallen of Elbaz to do a fusion summon, right? Yeah, so that's the general idea, and you're going to send one of these guys, and this can add to your hand during the end phase, and since it's still your turn, quick play, spell, granted in red, you can activate that, yeah, something like that. So, just in general, I think it's pretty cool that you can learn, like, the combos in general, how to play a deck by facing it enough times. So it's pretty similar to just playing the deck yourself, honestly. And it's actually in your best interest to learn how, like, a deck is played, because if you know how a deck is played, you can learn the choke points pretty hard. So for this, the choke points aren't going to be super clear for you necessarily. So I'm going to Lily Borea effect after I Therian charge, so draw 2. Unfortunate draws, but that is okay. And then we still have Madame Spider, so we can normal summon that in a bit. But I mean, in general, this hand is like alright. We still have infinite impermanence. Could be worse. And we actually get one more draw off of Extreme Session. Therion Irregular. Alright, but that's not the combo. So here is the combo. Alright, so how do we play this? So I think I would want to bait as hard as possible here. So probably start with Therion Charge on Therion King Regulus. Draw 2. Therion Discalcium and Extreme Session. That's alright. Activate Extreme Sessions. Normal summoning Xiamen. And then we can Xiamen effect to discard. If Gamma is still in hand, we can discard Gamma. And since we had Foxy Tune, we draw, of course, so we end up getting Bull Ein. So for Nib protection, I guess, because we wouldn't have summoned. This is first summon, so this would be summon number 2. We can just Bull Ein, equip Therion King Regulus. And then here we can keep going with this line. So Foxy will discard. So it'll be either Gamma or potentially Nashori Surprise, I guess. Doesn't super matter, I guess. Special summoning Sharakusai. Sharakusai effect, draw 1. Okay, another Foxy, that's fine. Then Sharakusai effect, special summoning. So here we don't really need to do Wagon, but we'll do Wagon anyways because we just want the extra name for the Amazing Dragon, so whatever. And we also run 2 Extreme Sessions anyway, so we can still search the second Extreme Session, and then we can grab Madame Spider when we make Dragon Drive, but I don't think we're doing Dragon Drive line here, actually. So actually we don't go Wagon, we actually go Madame Spider. Sorry about that. So yeah, Madame Spider, Ear Note, and then we make Menacing Mantis. Menacing Mantis will be able to send a copy of Lily Borea from deck to the graveyard. Then we can also special summon back Sharakusai with Deer Note effect, and we'll probably grab using Theory and Discalcium, we can grab something. So I guess Foom would be fine. So then we can Foom, grab Lily Borea, and then we can send a card to the graveyard with well, actually, let me see. Lily Borea needs to, well, no, wait, this equips Lily Borea, and then we send. So, okay. Yeah, this is fine. So I think we have to keep Bull Ein on the field here because of how we did things. If we held this for longer, I think that board could be a little bit better, but I guess that's fine. So, Lily Berea effect is going to search Therion Cross, and I guess that is fine. No real issue here. But I guess if we want 2 Omni Negates, we should grab Therion Irregular instead. And then we can use our copy of Madame Spider with our copy of Bull Ein to make Baron de Fleur. And that would work as well. So this board ends on Monster Negate, Destroy card, bounce like 2 cards back, I think. Or was it 3? Let me count 3. Yeah, bounce 3 cards. And then Reperfume can bounce potentially as well. You could do it that way. Therian King Regulus, negate effect. Depends exactly how you do it, I guess, but that's the general idea, I guess. It kind of depends exactly what's in your hand, where it's either going to be better to go into Diablantis or Jam Dragon Drive, because sometimes you do draw like enough Therion stuff where you don't actually need Diablantis to send Lily Brea. So sometimes that is the case, and it's just better to go Jam Dragon Drive. So yeah, that's kind of how the deck works to an extent. So here we would probably draw effect. And we have Foxy Tune, so that's combo essentially. So we actually don't need Extreme Session here, I guess. So we could do send Extreme Session or special summon Xiamen, add Sharkusai, normal summon, and then we can go through the Jam Dragon Drive line. And then during the Jam Dragon Drive line, instead, well, it's not in the extra deck here, but we can go into Malaya of the Trees to summon back Lily Berea, which was in hand. So there's some flexibility there. I guess we could also have discarded Deer Knot, which is also fine. But yeah, essentially that goes crazy. Long story short, I guess. I guess if you remove these two, it becomes a little bit easier. Actually, we could just remove IP and just go put in Malaya. And that'd probably be okay. We could even take out Break Sword for Malaya. Yeah, we might just do it like that. Okay. Boom. Done. And, like, I think it's interesting how, well, it's kind of hard when you don't know, like, the exact hand your opponent has, but, after a while, I can sort of tell what, like, someone has in hand, despite, like, not seeing the hand, just by seeing how their combo goes to an extent, right? Like, just for example, with Super Heavy Samurai, if we see, like, for example, Bike adding Soul Peacemaker, this usually means Wakayushi is already in the hand, and they have, at minimum, Motorbike plus Wakayushi, right? So with Super Heavy Samurai, I can just play this despite like not having played it before, simply because I've seen enough people play Super Heavy Samurai, right? And also I know that you can loop Soul Piercer like quite a few times, so I can tell you exactly what points will loop it as well. So we can first off search it with Wakushi, which is fine, or we can search it with Bike, doesn't really matter. So we can normal summon this, and then we can link this off with the Scarecrow, so that's once. So that gets it off the field, and puts it back on the field, and we can search twice. And then with Soul Piercer, we can now use it as material for something else. So, for example, we can Synchro Summon with this, and then that is one more time. And then we can also do special summoning Super Heavy Samurai Scales, and then do something with Soul Piercer once again, and then that is 3-4 times. And there is also the option, if we really wanted to use like, for example, Soul Peacemaker, which can special summon a super heavy samurai monster from our deck, which could be another copy of Soul Piercer if we so wish. So that's another way. And then you can search Regulus with Cleaford Genius when you do a pen summon. So if we do a pen summon and we summon two guys into the Genius zones, we can add Regulus. And then Regulus can equip Super Heavy Samurai Soul Piercer, and you usually make Baron earlier before this. So you can have Baron pop the Soul Piercer that is equipped, and that loops it another time. And yeah, that's a whole lot of looping. So that is just well, I'm not even sure if that is all the ways you can loop Soul Piercer, but you sure can loop Soul Piercer, right? And just for example, despite me having like never played this deck before, like, do I even own Transcode? I think I might not own Splash Mage, right? I own Transcode, but do we own Splash Mage? No, right? Okay, but I can tell you how to play Math Mech Line like super easily, right? Because I've just seen it so many times, right? So activate circular, send Sigma, Sigma effect, special summon, trigger circular, circular effect to search super factorial, and then we can go into Alimbertion. Alimbertion is going to add a card. We're going to detach 2 for this effect to add any Mathmech card. We're going to add Diameter if we don't already have it. Normal summon Diameter. Diameter can special summon anything, doesn't really matter. Now we're going to make Splash Mage, and then we're going to make Splash Mage specifically, I guess. Depends how you want to play it. You can keep Alimbertion on the field if you want to kind of deal with like Nibiru and stuff, right? Like that type of thing, if you care, right? But aside from that, we can just link off Alimbertion and uh, Diameter. Well, actually, wait. Yeah, it doesn't matter because we didn't make Alimbertion with Diameter. That's a different line. Forget what I said about that. Okay, so doesn't actually matter. So we just make Splash Mage with like Alimbertion, Diameter, or like Sigma, uh, Alimbertion, or whatever we summon. Doesn't matter. We probably just should send Alimbertion. And then we should have another guy on the field. So that guy, we're actually going to use the Cyberse Link one. Uh, Link decoder or something like that. It doesn't matter. We summon that. Special summon transcode. The effect of that guy activates. And we just make sure not to summon it to the transcode zone. So we can still summon back Splash Mage with transcode. And then here we have, let's see, we have transcode. Then we have, so we have transcode, Splash Mage, Link decoder. So if we have one more body, there is a line we can do where we just go directly into terahertz, and then we can send microcoder, and then we can go ahead and use effective Splash Mage to summon microcoder, and then go into Code Talker Heat Soul, I think, whatever it's called. So we can get 2 draws like that, but otherwise we can just send, assuming it's just fully 1 card, and we're using no more cards though, I guess. So in that case, we just can use the effect of Splash Mage to bring a guy back, and then we can make terahertz, and then we could just pass at that point, and it's fine, right? So let me just count the amount of bodies we have. Okay. So we have Splash Mage. We have Link Decoder. transcode, and then the guy we bring back, so that's 4 bodies, I guess, technically. So I guess at this point it's just terahertz and desavewurm, and then just ass. I don't think we have enough bodies, right? Do we? For heat soul, no. So we don't even necessarily have to activate Splash Mage if we don't want to, right? Yeah, it doesn't actually matter. Wow. But I mean, if we did Heat Soul first, there's a potential that we could have drawn into something. There's also technically the option to go into the G Golem Crystal Heart, right? If you do this, this actually gives you like one more link, technically, if that makes sense, right? So if we link off like uh, transcode and link one, or just Cyber's monster that's not a link monster, that gives us like one more link value to work with. So not this card, this one. So we can do this to special summon back transcode. And then I believe now we have enough, I think we have enough like cards essentially, or enough monsters or link values or whatever to go into Heat Soul Terahertz. But we don't have a G Golem Crystal Heart for turn 3 anymore if we do this. So that's the disadvantage about doing this. So you don't necessarily have to do this, but I guess you can, right? Speaking of which, Super Poly. Is this even that great? Yeah, probably not. Honestly, you'll still get hit by Super Factorial, but yeah. Essentially, generally you end on like draw 2 and then spell trap negate, as well as omni negate, delayed omni negate, I guess. And then there is actual omni negate and essentially a Trishula effect. So yeah, that's how that's played. And then if we go to, for example, Mikanko, I can tell you how Mikanko is played as well. So pretty easy. So the main thing you want to be doing is trying to get into Ohime. So you're going to be playing like either like prep or pre-prep, depending if you're feeling like running Mikanko Kagura. Most people don't run this though, I think. So probably just run preparations to try to add Ohime. And you can also, of course, have copies of Diviner to attempt to go into Ohime. So simply normal summon Diviner, send Herald of the Arclight, and then it can add any ritual monster, which Ohime, the manifested Mikako is, right? And then from here, going to be grabbing generally either Arabesque or the Great Mikanko Ceremony, depending on exactly what's in your hand, right? But main thing is you want to get into Mikanko Rivalry, because this allows you to equip any equip spell from your deck to any monster. So you can equip, for example, a double-edged sword, which is going to be used to OTK your opponent, right? Or you're going to be using this to just negate your opponent's monster, essentially, with what's it called? Axe of Fools, I think. Yeah, Axe of Fools, yeah. So this is essentially just negate, right? Assuming, well, you open, uh, if you open Mayo Washidori, or Uli, I believe, or you can actually just have, for example, Are the Sword Mikanko and Ohime, just like uh any Mikanko monster almost. Would that be the case? No. Nini doesn't get you there, I don't think. But whatever. So if we have them, we can just special summon Ohime using effect of ceremony. Let's see what the order is for this real quick. Build this card in hand, add one, then discard one card. So you can even add ceremony and discard ceremony, which is kind of cracked, I guess, sometimes. But general idea is we're going to get like uh these three cards in like, so it's just Huli with Mayawashidori, or we can go grab Hare with Mayawashidori, and then uh it basically gets you where you want to be, essentially, right? So we can, if we do Huli, we just simply grab Rivalry and we inset this, pass. If we have Hare, then we can grab Arabesque and then return Hare to the hand, and then Huli effect, right? Let's see, special summon, if you do equivalent with this card, banish it when it leaves the field. That's fine, and then we end on Huli again anyways, and then we grab Rivalry again. So that's all it is, right? Pretty simple, I guess. That's the general idea. And then you sit on Huli, which makes it so essentially your opponent can't really out your stuff by battle because it can't be destroyed by battle. And also because of the effect of like Mayawashidori, you cannot destroy their monsters by card effects. And also you cannot target their Mayawashidori. You can also not target any of their Makako cards, essentially, right? So you can't target Huli, you can't target Mayawashidori, and that is essentially the end board, and essentially in general how you OTK. If you have enough material though, you don't have to wait a turn with Rivalry. So you can just attack for game on the turn, right? Kinda depends exactly what's opened, if your opponent has like Ashwell, Subdue Spring or not. Because ashing like Ohime, ashing Arabesque, ashing Hare, all of those make it harder to lethal, right? So yeah, that's how you play it Makako. And yeah, as you can see, I'm too broke to afford like Makako, so yeah, clearly I haven't really played Makako yet. But I do know how to play it. And then let's see. Let's just pull up some URs. So there's some decks I still don't know how to play, like TG. I have no clue about TG because I haven't seen it enough. So not 100% sure on that, but I mean I have a like a general guess on how it's done. And then let's see though. Oh, Monadium. I know how to play Monadium, yeah. So pretty simple. It just depends exactly what you open, so it's fine. So let's say we open, for example, something pretty classy, I guess. Let's go Meek plus Rhymeheart. So order doesn't super matter, but I guess it's probably better to normal summon Rhymeheart and then special summon Meek. So that's probably a little bit better to do in that order. So normal summon Rhymeheart effect to add we can do Obsession if we wanted, right? Obsession, is this better for us to do? I think it is, specifically because we can special summon, use the special summon effect if we want, but that depends exactly on the state of our deck, right? But I mean, just in general, normal summon Rhymeheart, special summoning Meek, then we can grab the field spell, Peaceful Planet Calarium, effect of Peaceful Planet Calarium to add Visas Starfrost. Visas Starfrost will then pop our copy of Meek. Meek will special summon Meek, and we can adjust the level if we want. Depends exactly what we're planning on doing, I guess. And then we can link off Visas Starfrost, and also I guess you do always do the level change, because you will special summon a level 2 Meek anyways, back from the graveyard with Calarium effect, and then Visa Starfrost is going to get linked off to make the Scareclaw link 1, and then the Scareclaw link 1 adds Reichphobia. Reichphobia will then add the other guy, the uh, what's his face? Uh, well, the Scareclaw Rice, the Scareclaw uh beats the Starfrost guy. So you add him, and you can special summon him because the Link one is a Scareclaw. So here you should have summoned everything in defense, so you get to draw one, and also add Scareclaw Arrival, which is essentially just Monster Reborn. And then we can, let's see. I'm pretty sure you can just make uh Baron from here. If we special summon back Visa Starfrost, that's like Baron, or we can Dispatcher. I think Spatter is the option here. Probably. Because we're going to Cross Shape, Banish Visa Starfrost, and probably Roomheart. Or we can do the Scareclaw, but I think we might keep the Scareclaw because we have a rival. So, still feeling a little sick. Don't mind me. Yeah. Alright, so now that I've got that out of my system, next from here, it's just kind of what we want to do. But like, Cross Sheep can bring back Meek. It can bring back potentially Rhymeheart. It can bring back just whatever levels you need for whatever. But essentially, with just what we're going here for here, we don't even need to do Amritara or whatever, right? So here we can just end on essentially Spatter, Chengying, and Baron is kind of what we're going for right here. And if we had the opportunity, we could search reframing just somewhere in between. Depends exactly how many extenders and stuff we have, but yeah, that's the general idea. And we might be able to go into Apollosa depending on like how much material we have like left over, I guess. And yeah, that's about it, right? We summon Trisukta. We can also keep in mind that for example, this is level 4, and like the Scareclaw Visas is also level 4, so that's 10 again. This summons back level 2. Depends exactly what we have, but Vicious Astrolabe is a level 8, so that's another Synchro 10 that we can make. And if we have the option to make Synchro 8, we can also do just Warlord Savage. So we at the very least will have the Scareclaw Link 1 to equip onto Warlord Savage, so that's just another potential Omni negate we can do. So that's fine, right? That's probably in general how you play like Vanadium. Uh, I mean it kind of depends on exactly what you want to be doing here, but yeah, if it works, right? So, yeah. Let's see. I don't think there's a good like non-tuner 2 for you to use, or a tuner 2, right? Wait, is there? Oh, if so, summoning back the 2, we can also, in case we want to do Synchro 8, we can actually just do the Stardust Assault Dragon or whatever. Or was it Excel? I think it was Excel Dragon or something. We could do that to summon back to make 8 as well. We always have that option. If we summon Trisukta, we can go into that. And we could honestly wait on it a bit and actually use the effect to make all of our synchro monsters like towers. So there's also that option. But yeah, I generally just know how to play all these decks just from playing against it enough so that I know their combos. So Virtual World I haven't seen enough of recently, so I don't know what they do currently, but I know what they did before. So one of the big ideas that you had with Virtual World is, well, let's see. One of the big ideas is that you can actually use Chuche to adjust the level of Shen Shen to summon it back with Cloud Castle to make VFD, uh, or True King of all calamities, whatever. So that's like an idea, right? And then they still have Chuche effect, which is kind of useful, kind of not, whatever. So that idea exists. Well, I mean, just in general, I know how to play a lot of decks because I've played against them at some point. So if you just handed me like a deck, I won't like completely not know what I'm doing, but uh, there's a good chance I can play it pretty well. A good amount of the time, though, it sometimes gets to the point where you can kind of tell when someone makes a misplay, like, and they could have done a play better. So sometimes you can actually see those kind of things happen as well. But yeah, in general, though, I think it is pretty interesting how like after playing against um just certain decks long enough, you can just learn how to play them. No problem. Not to say you would play them, but just being able to learn this way is pretty cool. And you kind of have to, otherwise you're just suffering, I guess. But yeah, just in general, being able to learn how to play like just other people's decks just by playing against them, I think is a pretty cool concept of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, but without even seeing me explain combos, if you just see me do them a few times, you might like miss some hard combos. Like, for example, if you've never seen it before, just for example, I always like to go to this. Dark Refer Danger Nessie, it's pretty hard to like if someone just hands you a list that utilizes Dark Refer Danger Nessie and like just with no context, you just get this deck. Pretty hard to just play off rip, right? But I mean, uh, uh yeah, there are some really hard lines with this. Like, just for example, in the zombie world version that you can do with this, there's actually some line, like sometimes that comes up where it's actually optimal to use glow up bloom effect with zombie world on the field and add a zombie monster with Dark Grepher on the field after you have summoned back Dark Grepher, and then you would send like Doom King, which you add off of Bloom, which is like pretty uh cracked, this line. Well, if it comes up, right? So like during those situations, it requires like some experience to kind of know like how this deck works, right? But like just in general, you can get a general feel and still like have a decent time playing like decks you've never played before like this. And I mean, it does require like still time investment, so I mean, it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.